Welcome to the United Kingdom, a land of academic excellence and endless possibilities. Over 135 Nobel laureates have studied in UK universities, and leaders from more than 1 in 4 countries were educated here. But the UK offers more than just academics. It's a place of inspiration, adventure, and vibrant culture. By choosing to study in the UK, you'll embark on a transformative journey of self-discovery, unleash your potential, embrace new experiences, and uncover the incredible talents within you. Let the United Kingdom be your gateway to endless opportunities and a future as remarkable as its historic institutions. It's time to shape your own story and create a bright future.
I think one of the highlights of my experience in Cambridge University was being able to explore my passions. My life has been enriched by having this experience of studying in the UK. It really opened me up to a whole range of possibilities that would not exist if I didn't go further afield to study.
For centuries, the UK has been a leading force in academic thinking and academic rigour. It's no wonder that over 1/3 of undergraduate students studying in the UK achieve a first-class degree. The emphasis on quality education is evident, empowering students to reach their fullest potential. The UK is a global powerhouse of science and research, at the forefront of groundbreaking discoveries and emerging technologies. By studying in the UK, students graduate with invaluable insights and sought-after skills that are in high demand worldwide. So whether you aspire to make groundbreaking scientific discoveries, excel in the arts, business, or any other field, a UK education equips you with the tools to succeed. It's a journey of growth, knowledge, and limitless possibilities.
I had the privilege of going to 2 British universities. I created networks with other marine scientists who have similar passions, who have guided me, who have answered my questions like 20 years on. So it's been really amazing. And I was exposed to this practical side of biology and sciences that really has helped my research and made me, I think, a much more complete researcher as a result.
Hundreds of thousands of international students study in the UK each year, giving the UK a consistently high ranking in popularity. With a diverse population and a reputation for prestigious schooling, the UK is a natural location for international students to flock to. Higher education institutions are all held to strict standards by the government, so you are getting the best teaching, support, and resources available. Deciding to study in the UK is a cost-effective investment in your future. A prestigious degree from the UK is a valuable and transformative experience that will take your education and your employability to the next level. Beyond the world-class education and high-quality teaching, there is so much to love in the UK. Experience the UK's multicultural, open and inclusive culture. Take in our awe-inspiring landscapes and unique traditions, and immerse yourself in its unbeatable international cultural scene. You are also certain to feel safe, secure and welcome here.
My course is one of the best in the world for my specialism. Outside of academics, I'm in a lot of clubs. I'm in a tennis club, I'm dancing with the dance company too, and I'm more independent than ever.
From Hamlet to Harry Potter, the UK is home to familiar cultural icons, and no matter what you're looking for, you'll find it here. From the dazzling nightlife of Glasgow and Cardiff to the bright stage lights of the West End in London, you will have an unforgettable experience here as a student. Studying in the UK will transform your career prospects by giving you fresh perspectives, inspiring ideas, and a highly regarded degree that's recognised the world over. A UK degree gives you more than just an outstanding academic qualification. It can also provide you with valuable work placements, and all as part of your studies. These placements, internships, and volunteering positions are designed for you to build new skills, make contacts, and apply your learning in a real-world professional environment. UK universities have such strong links with every type of industry, you're sure to find a placement that's right for you. This is just one reason why UK graduates are among the most employable in the entire world, and why they're earning more and progressing further than their peers educated elsewhere. And it's why a UK degree can help you really stand out in an increasingly competitive job market.
My UK education actually helped me in terms of finding the job back in Singapore. Somebody with UK education, UK experience, and I fit the bill.
After you graduate, you can apply to stay in the UK for 2 years through the new graduate route. The UK's graduate route welcomes international students to apply to stay in the UK and work or look for work upon graduation. International students who have successfully completed an undergraduate or master's degree can apply to stay in the UK for up to 2 years after their studies. PhD graduates can apply to stay for up to 3 years. This is a fantastic opportunity for international students who want to take their next steps into employment in the UK.
My UK career actually, it presented something that I know for a fact I would never have gotten over here. You know, it opened up lots of doors, and for that I am very grateful.
The UK offers a huge variety of study options, with hundreds of institutions and thousands of courses to pick from. Whether you are looking for undergraduate, postgraduate, English courses or other study options, the UK has a wide variety of institutions and courses to choose from. Visit the Study UK website for more course information. There are many funding options available for international students who want to study in the UK. They range from paying part of your fees to covering programme fees, living expenses and return flights. The UK government runs a variety of postgraduate scholarship programmes to financially support international students who are looking for help funding their studies in the UK. You can search for the right scholarship for you on the Course and Scholarships Finder from our website. Experience the transformative power of a degree from the UK, where academic excellence meets career opportunities. Take your education and employability to the next level.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Study UK pre-departure briefing, and thank you very much for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. So perhaps before we begin, I will bring you through a few points of what to do and what to look out for throughout this session. Next slide, please. So we would like to ask you to keep your cameras turned off and your microphone on mute. So if you have any question, do ask them on the Q&A section of this this session, and then and you can please indicate who the question is for. Yeah, and then next one is kindly note that this session will be recorded for the purposes of capturing key ideas and takeaway. And by attending this session, you acknowledge that your image and comments may be recorded. Yeah, so do ask us all the questions that you have. And then for those questions which we are unable to answer you now, we will get back to you later. Yeah. So next, please let me pass the session to Roshini to bring you through some of the important information that we would like to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chen Yong. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Study UK pre-departure briefing. So in this briefing, we're going to prepare you for your student life and journey ahead to the UK. So this is some key information about the UK. So the official name is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. These are the 4 nations and capital cities, as well as the currency, which you should be aware of by now. This is some statistics on the population breakdown for your information. So in the UK, it is a country that does not discriminate, and it's against the law to discriminate. So please rest assured that you're going to a very safe and accepting nation. So I'm going to go into a few things you need to prepare before you leave home. Okay, so it's very important that you sort out all your visa requirements and get a valid visa before traveling. I won't go into the details as we have representatives from the UK Visa Outreach Office with us, but please take note of this QR code and visit the website for more information, as the latest information is always updated on this website. Please rest assured all slides will be shared with you in an email after this. So what do you need to have with you before you travel to the UK? So first, make sure that you pay attention to information from your UK university. Make sure that you meet all the deadlines that your institution sets. They will send you a lot of emails regarding academic matters and all of that. Please pay attention to those emails. Please also check your spam folders in your emails, and make sure you know and have your CAS letter. And it's also very important to have a copy of your CAS letter while traveling. So when you go through immigration, if there's any questions, you can show your CAS letter as proof. So in this section, we'll cover about traveling to the UK, what you need to pack in your main luggage, what you have to carry in your carry-on, as well as what not to pack. So in your main luggage, these are things that you should pay attention to. For example, we would always recommend that you check what is the weather you are arriving with. Okay, so if it's summer or autumn, please make sure you have comfortable clothing. So we recommend that you don't buy 5 or 6, just buy 1 or 2, which is more than enough. And then when you get there, you can visit thrift stores or other stores and buy weather or winter clothing that is more appropriate for you at a better price with like the latest fashion as well. Okay. So we also recommend that students take traditional and formal outfits. This is because at UK universities, there are a lot of formals and events, and we're very open to having and sharing cultures. So it's recommended that you also bring outfits to share your culture. So what to pack in your carry-on? So make sure you have a valid passport as well as visa. Please have your travel tickets and departure details with you. Also carry your CAS letter in a file. Make sure you have accommodation details, at least for your first night or first month. If you have an agreement, a tenancy agreement, or an accommodation letter, please keep that as well. So when you're going through immigration and if they have any questions, you have all these documents to prove and ensure that you have a smooth immigration process. So what not to pack? Please check this website and pay attention to the things that you shouldn't pack, such as there's restricted meat products, milk, eggs, all of that are things that you are not allowed to pack, as well as drugs, weapons, pepper spray. Please do not pack any of this. It is recommended that you also travel with an umbrella as it rains a lot. So when arriving in the UK, These are things that you should pay attention to. Before leaving, always check the latest travel advice. If there's any government restrictions or travel bans or things like that, please pay attention to that. Also check out with your university if there's support when you're traveling, such as if there are coaches or transfers that the university is arranging, so you can make sure you plan your travel time to meet this facilities provided by your universities. So when you are arriving in the UK, what we would like you to aim for is the green light. That means you're traveling with no banned and restricted goods, so you can go through straight. And like I said, please make sure you have a copy of all your documents. So if the immigration counters or officers ask, you have all this information. When planning your route to go to your universities, please make sure you first keep your university informed on your travel plans so they can expect you to arrive and keep track of you. Next one is make sure you have contact details for your institution or your university in your hand luggage. So in case you're lost, you have these numbers that can help you to find your way there. Also check if your university has pickup services. And when you plan your route, please download the train apps, because unlike a lot of Asian countries, there's no taxi, or even if there is, it's very expensive. So you'll most likely have to take public transport, which is very readily and easily available to you. So plan your routes to make sure that you're taking a tube or train station that has elevators to make sure that you don't have to lug your luggage around. So while you're living in the UK, it is very accessible to travel around using public transport. Please check these websites to plan your journey ahead before you travel. And this is not just your first journey, but while you're living on campus as well. For accommodation options, we usually ask students to check out with your university as well as with private accommodations around your university. So this is to be able for you to be able to manage your budget accordingly. So if your budget allows you to stay on campus, then please do so if you want to. And if you want to look for outside accommodation, you can as well. So you can look at the link provided in this slide to find more information. So when it comes to managing your finances, usually the first problem or the first issue a lot of students have is related to opening a bank account. Please do not travel with a month or 2 months worth of money. Please just travel with a week or 2 weeks, and then maybe with credit cards that you have access to. Digital banking as well as credit cards is widely accepted in the UK. And the moment you go to your campus, please scout for which is the most convenient bank to you in terms of from your accommodation as well as to your uni, what is the most convenient, and open a bank account with that bank. There's also a lot of resources available to you to plan and budget. So you can use the Study UK cost website for you to be able to plan and your budget daily as well as monthly. Eating out is not recommended every time because it is quite costly. So you will have to cook and things like that. So please do look at this website, and this is the estimated budget we give people, anywhere between 900 to 1,400 pounds for a month, which will cover your rent, bills, entertainment, and other living costs. So as a student in the UK, there is such a thing as student discounts, and this is widely available, and you can access it using your international student identity because of the National Union of Students. So you can also visit these websites to find out places that have student discounts. And anywhere you go, do ask them if they provide student discounts. Okay, on campuses, UK has a lot of offering to give students. There's a lot of clubs and societies that you can join, from like your international student bodies to like Malaysian Society, Brunei Hall, all of that is available to you. There are also other interest-based clubs and societies. Doesn't matter if it's sports or culture or anime or K-pop dancing, there's usually a lot of clubs and societies that cater to specific interests as well. So we would recommend that all students, especially Asian students, you're investing so much in a UK education. Please do not only focus on an academic education, please also broaden your horizons with all these extracurricular activities. On that note, in the UK, culture and arts is a very big thing. So there is a lot of musicals, music festivals, film festivals, and also sports events that you can participate in. So please keep a lookout with your international student councils as well as your extracurricular bodies on campus and find out as well as participate in these things. The UK has a lot of food and drinks as it is a melting pot of cultures, so you wouldn't have a problem trying to find your own cuisine or type or comfort food. Please also pay attention to like specific stores that you might want to keep a lookout for. You can ask alumni or student bodies there. So there's a lot of Brunei students, Thai students, Malaysian students, Singapore students in UK universities. You can very easily find these bodies and they will definitely help you. They act as like your family away from home and they're very open to sharing these things. So keep a lookout for them, make friends with them, and then find out what is the best place to go when you need these kind of things. So while you're studying in the UK, there's also career support readily available to you. So please do reach out to them the moment you settle down within a week or two. Try and reach out to your career support faculties and stuff like that and ask them for maybe job placements or internship placements that you would want to secure. So on the note of looking after yourself, these are important things that you have to pay attention to. So these are your people or your first aiders in a lot of situations. So student welfare services, student health services, tutors, lecturers, academic supervisors, they're all very open to helping students and especially international students. So please take note of these bodies and reach out to them. Additionally, for mental health and wellness, there is also these bodies that you can reach out to, such as Student Minds, UKCISA, as well as Samaritans. When traveling to the UK, you are covered by the NHS. As long as you're a student, you have paid for the NHS in your visa application as well. So make sure the moment you land and you're settled down in your campus, you register with a general practitioner, which is like your everyday clinic near your university or accommodation, so that if there is any other condition that you need to go to a hospital or emergency room, it will immediately trigger that you are an international student and you're covered by NHS. So there are certain things that NHS doesn't cover. Among those things are some medications prescribed by the doctor. So you may have to go to a pharmacy for that. Eye test as well as eye care, dental care, as well as certain vaccinations. Okay. So like I said earlier, please make sure you register with a general practitioner or a clinic on campus or nearby your accommodation so that in case you have any emergencies or you need to visit the doctor, it will kick in that you are covered by NHS as an international student. Please also pay attention to all the websites below. These websites will cover more on what your NHS covers in these different regions. For your personal safety, please pay attention to these numbers. So if you have an emergency or you need assistance for non-emergencies, please call 101. And if you have a medical non-emergency, the number to dial for NHS is 111. And in case of an emergency, the number is 999. So just like how you are in your home country, we ask all students going to the UK to abide by UK laws. Please pay attention to all these laws, and please do not get your student visa cancelled and shipped back home because you went against these laws. So please just make sure that you're a law-abiding citizen or international student while you're in the UK. So that is all we have for this session. Thank you so much for listening to me. We can take questions at the end. And I will hand over the session to our representatives from the UK Visa Outreach Office.
We will go with IELTS first.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Yes, IELTS.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Tim. Happy to see everyone here. So I'll be sharing information about IELTS with you. Let me just get my slide ready. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Teo. Okay, so I'm from the exams unit, and my role here is actually to assist you with information about IELTS, right? And so in your journey of actually pursuing your studies in the UK, IELTS will be the requirement for you, right? So in our introduction today, we'll be talking about what is IELTS on computer, and then what are preparation resources that you have and promotions that you have access to. And then last but not least, we'll have also a Q&A session. All right. So IELTS is actually an acronym for the International English Language Testing System. It's co-owned by three partners. We have the British Council, Cambridge, and also IDP. And you may know that IELTS is a widely recognized everywhere in the world, right? And so the roles of the British Council and also IDP is that we are assisting with the test delivery. All right, and Cambridge is the think tank for the test production, development, and also research. All right. And so some features about the IELTS. We have been in existence for about 35 years or more, and it's recognized by 12,000 plus organizations worldwide for its reliability. All right. Of course, there's a lot of multi-layer security measures as well. That's what it's making it highly reliable. Right. And most importantly, IELTS is used for not just for education, but also for migration. And, you know, when you're searching for job overseas as well, right, that's when IELTS will come in handy. Okay, this is just a comparison between what we used to have IELTS on computer and also IELTS on paper. And we have now transitioned to IELTS on computer, right? Main feature that we want to highlight is that with IELTS on computer, you can actually get your results as fast as within 3 days from after the test. Yeah, and the test is available 5 days a week. In Malaysia, we have at least 9 test venues, right? And so about some test formats here, you may know that listening tests, there are 4 components, right? Listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And the total time allocated for this IELTS test is 2 hours and 44 minutes, right? So we have about 30 minutes allocated for listening, 60 for reading, another 60 for writing. And for the speaking test, it will only take about 11 to 40 minutes. Okay, so this is basically just a band score of what we have in the IELTS testing. The lowest it goes is actually band 1. And then you go all the way up to band 9, right? For expert user or very good user at 8. So there's no passing or failing mark for IELTS tests. Really what you'll be looking forward to is achieving the score that you need, or at least the university need from you, right? For booking the test, you can actually head over to British Council's IELTS registration page. This is just to show you what it looks like when you are keying in a city in a vicinity. Okay, so for myself, I'm actually based in the KL, and which is Malaysia, right? So you once you key in Kuala Lumpur, for example, the city of your testing preferred testing location, then you see dates and also the format that are available, for example, IELTS General Training or IELTS Academic, right? And their corresponding fees. Okay, so for your case, if you're coming from Philippines, for example, or even Singapore, you will see the corresponding currency as well. Okay. This is about IELTS One Skill Retake. This is something new that we rolled out last year. Essentially, what One Skill Retake does is that it allows you to take a retake in one component. Say, for example, if you don't feel like your score in the speaking component is good enough and you like to actually redo that. Now, with One Skill Retake, you can actually redo that without having to take a full test, right, of 4 components and just really rescheduling the component that you like to 60 days after the test. I mean, within the 60 days after your test. Yeah. Okay, so about the test day journey, this is basically to tell you that, you know, from arrival, you're supposed to actually register with, I mean, to check your information and see whether or not your registration was indeed correct, right? And then you have to actually drop your bag in the storage area, okay? And you'll be checking in using your passport or even your ID, which you use to register. That's something very important that a lot of test takers need to actually be careful about, because sometimes when you have, maybe for example, you change or renew your passport, then you always need to actually have the check before you even actually attempted your test. All right, it's important that you highlight that you have already changed your ID. Okay. Then for security check, of course, we also take a photo of you, right? Then you also then you'll be actually ushered to the test room. Okay. For what you're allowed to bring, okay, we have 3 here listed: water bottle, transparent one, all right, and then your ID card or your passport, right? For what you're not allowed to bring, you're not allowed to bring stationaries because it's IELTS and computer, right? And then smart watches, wallets, and electronic devices are not allowed. Okay, so here we have some preparation resources that we'd be happy to share with you. Okay, so I'm going to play a video about IELTS Ready. This is basically a comprehensive preparation course. I'll let the video do the introduction, yeah?
Getting ready to take your English language test? At the British Council, we understand the importance of preparation, and we want to give you the best chance of success. IELTS Ready brings together all our preparation materials into one neat and tidy package to guide you on your way. There are 2 levels, Member and Premium. IELTS Ready Premium is available to anyone who has booked an IELTS test with the British Council. Providing more preparation materials than any other test provider, it's an all-in-one solution carefully curated by the British Council, designed to make your journey as smooth as possible. With IELTS Ready Premium, you'll get a personalised study plan and the best preparation materials available. What's more, it's available on mobile and can be used across multiple devices, making your journey easier than ever before. With IELTS Ready Premium, you'll have access to 40 practice tests covering every aspect of the IELTS test. Writing practice with model answers to show you what examiners are looking for. Feedback on every reading and listening question. Skills masterclasses to prepare you for test day. Exercises to help you practice listening, reading, writing and speaking. All the tools you need to succeed. Book your IELTS test with the British Council and improve your chances of success. Get started today.
Okay, sorry. So that's IELTS Ready. Okay, So a feature about IELTS Ready is that IELTS Ready, it allows you to key in a target score of so your target score, and then through practices that you answered, it actually allows you to track whether or not you are really progressing towards your target score. Okay, so it's available to anyone who registered with the British Council, and the benefit of this is that you can sorry,
Tim. We can't see your slides.
All right, I think I probably dropped. Yeah, it probably dropped.
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a second. Right, is it running again?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for alerting. So like I said, it's actually available to you from as early as you register. So for example, if you're planning to apply to UK, for example, and maybe you have 2 months ahead of your desired intake, and you can actually register for that 2 months and still get access to the material for as long as that 2 months duration. Yeah, even until 7 days after the test. Okay. And the best thing about this is that it's 100% online, and it uses a very smart system to push materials that are relevant to your level. So as you do the exercises and as you improve, the level of difficulty also changes, right? And it just according to your level, right? And another thing about this is that it also has these skill master classes that you can actually choose from the calendar. And if you want to actually watch it on demand, you can also do so, right? But if not, and you like to actually engage during a live session, you can just click on the calendar and register yourself for the sessions that you like, right? So that's IELTS Ready Premium. Okay, so again, it's really 40 tests, 40 full practice tests, and mock tests even. And then you can also learn from model answers, especially in the writing test. It has a comparison between bands. So like with the lower band of band 5 and 6, 6 and 7, and so forth up to band 9. Okay, that's something that you probably is finding it missing from the materials that are out there. Right, and of course, you also have familiarization videos that to guide you on every aspect of this IELTS Ready Premium. Okay. All right. So just a comparison, you probably have seen that we have two modes. One is IELTS Ready Member, and one is IELTS Ready Premium. If you have not decided when you like to take the IELTS test, you can try on first with IELTS Ready Member. It's free to everyone. Right, and the only difference is that it only has limited 6 mock tests with speaking practice as well. Then you have a limited number of videos that instead of actually like what you get from the IELTS Ready Premium. Okay, but if you do actually want to try out IELTS Ready Premium and make full use of that, and you have already planned out the test day, you can actually just take advantage of this practice course, right, and prepare yourself as much as you can. Right. So for other preparation materials, we also have the, of course, this is actually coming from Malaysia, but IELTSasia.org, from this page itself, you can actually choose your region. For example, if you're coming from Philippines, you also will see corresponding materials that are there to help you with preparations, right? Then you have also IELTS on Computer familiarization test. This is basically a simulation of the test feature. I mean the test interface, right? So if you want to actually get a feel of what the computer test is like, you can check out the IELTS on Computer familiarization test. It doesn't have a limit on how many times you can actually attempt it, right? So feel free to check it out. The same email address that you used to register for the familiarization test can be used again and again, right? Okay, so that's familiarization tests. This is the website. If you're interested, you can actually head on here to check it out. I think we'll be sharing the deck with you also later through the help of the Rosh and also I think Chen Yong. And then I think last but not least, we also have free IELTS webinars. This is on our Facebook page. It's called Take IELTS Official. And I think 2nd August was just the recent one that we had on topic development, work, and business, right? The next one will be on 16 August. It's on IELTS reading, the tips and the practice. Okay. We follow the UK, I think this is summertime, right? So I think this is around like 4 p.m. if I'm not wrong. The last one we had was actually on 26 July, and then earlier. You can actually rewatch this one if you like to, right? It's actually on YouTube. Then we have also IELTS coach, right? You want to get someone to support your study, to help you coach you as you prepare for it. You can also check out the IELTS coach. Okay, so this is just some information about our team at the exams, British Council Malaysia. Right, so any questions that you'd like to ask? If not, then I think we'll delay this until the end of the session. I'll pass the time over to Rosh.
Hi, everyone. Please feel free to put in your questions if you have any. Since we do not have any, we will proceed with a presentation from Pat from UKVI. Hi, Pat. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon, everyone. While we wait for the slide to load, I'd like to begin by thanking the British Council for inviting me to this event and as well as organizing it. And also thank every one of you for coming in on a Saturday afternoon to listen to this presentation. Well, my name is Lisapat Kraikuan. You can call me Pat. I am from UK Visas and Immigration, or in short, UKVI. Just to give you a brief background, UKVI is part of the Home Office. So if you have any visa-related inquiry, please contact UKVI. I will share the information of how to contact us later on. The British High Commission or the Embassy, they're not operationally directly involved, so do contact UKVI directly if you have any question. And to make a start about UK visa service, so our purpose is to provide an effective regular immigration system for the UK. Our vision is that we place customer need at the center of what we do by being adaptive, responsible, and respectful at all times. What we do is that we issue visa for people to visit, to work, to study, or to live with their family in the UK. And we have 250 application centers around the world. And out of those 190 countries, we offer priority service where you can get a faster decision. The high volume visa routes that we have include visitor route, by far is the highest. And we have the work route and the study route, of course. And to give you a perspective of the numbers, there are 3 things that you can notice here. This is the data for the year ending March 2024. So it's from April last year till March this year. And 3 things to notice is that there is a drop in 2021. That is a result of travel restriction during COVID, and there is a quick recovery after that. The second thing to notice is that the March 2024 number has surpassed the pre-COVID level. And there are more people that has been granted visa, a record high this year. Thirdly, is that there is a significant larger portion for work visa that we granted, which is in teal, and study visa, which we granted. So those portion has increased significantly. So there are more people that is getting a long-term visa to the UK. And to put it to this region, I understand that we have participants from Malaysia and Brunei. So these are some numbers from the 2 countries. So for Malaysia, we have granted altogether about 8,200 visas. And out of those, 78% are study visa. Similarly, in Brunei, 417 visa, about 77% is study visa. So study visa is the visa that is driving the market there in these 2 nations. A bigger picture of the student visa. So we have granted altogether about 447,000 sponsored student visa to main applicants for the year ending March 2024. And if we scope down on visa statistics, you can see that student visa that we have granted for Malaysian is about 6,300, and for Brunei is 320. Another thing that I'd like to highlight is that the issue rate is 99%. So if you haven't applied for your visa yet, don't be too nervous because the probability is very much on your side. It's actually above 99%. Now, a very basic question is whether you need a student visa or not. So if you're going to the UK to study for a period of longer than 6 months, if you're not a British citizen, then most likely you'll need a visa. So even if you're an EU citizen or any other citizen from the rest of the world, you'll most likely need a student visa to study in the UK. Who can apply? So you can apply for a UK student visa if you're over 16. You have an offer from an approved education institution, that is your CAS. You can speak, read, write, and understand English. You have enough money to pay for your course and support yourself, which I'll elaborate more in the later slide. And if you're under 18, you have a consent from your parents. If you are between 4 and 17 years old and you want to study in an independent school, we have a different route, what we call a child student visa. So the document that you'll require, that will be required, definitely you must provide your travel document or your valid passport. Make sure that it's not expiring. You have your CAS reference number. That is very important. Don't apply if you have not received that yet. What you may also need to provide is proof of finance, proof of your knowledge of English, birth certificate and parental consent if you're under 18. And for people, residents in Malaysia and Brunei, you'll have to provide a TB test result as well. That is mandatory. ATAS certificate, this depends on the course that you're taking. It'll be indicated in your CAS whether you need an ATAS certificate or not. Now, to elaborate more on your knowledge of English, there are 3 ways that you can prove your knowledge of English. First is taking the CELT or an English language test by an approved provider. Secondly is if you have any of these qualifications shown on the slide, you can prove your knowledge of English that way as well. And thirdly, the most important is that your higher education provider can assess your English level. So that means that they will indicate on the CAS that they issue to you of whether you need to take additional tests or not, because they are the people who evaluate your English level. If you do need to take additional tests, please do so as part of your visa application. If not, then you will not have to take any tests. Funds you must provide. So the funds you must provide is you have to have enough money to pay for the course, at least 1 year, and money to support yourself. If you live in London, what the minimum requirement would be about 1,300 for a period of 9 months. If you live in the rest of the UK, it'll be about £1,000 and for a period of 9 months as well. How you can demonstrate this is by having cash in your saving account or in your parents' account or your guardian account. But if it is in your parents' account or your guardian account, please show their consent as well as any proof of relationship. You can also prove this by student loan. If there's document of student loan that you can use as supporting document or any sponsorship or grant from the government. The fund must be held in the account for at least 28 consecutive days prior to submitting your visa application. You may not need to prove that to submit your financial document if you've been living in the UK 12 months prior to the date of your student visa application. This is for in-country application or for those who are applying in the UK. Or if you're a student union sabbatical officer, or you're applying as a postgraduate doctor or dentist on a recognized foundation program. What I'd like to highlight is that if your country is part of the differential arrangement or differential evidence, you do not have to provide a proof of finance when you initially submit your visa application. So nationals from Malaysia and Brunei, you do not need to submit your evidence of finance when you initially submit your visa application. But the reason that I mentioned about funding is because the decision maker has the right to request for additional document when they feel it is necessary before making the decision on your application. So if they request these documents, those are the requirement that they like to see, that you have the money there, the minimum required amount of fund, and in the bank account for a period of 28 days. Some students did not have this prepared, so it either delayed their application or result in the refusal of your application. How to apply is pretty straightforward. Every journey starts with an online journey for your visa application, and that is the link to that. The visa applications process, as stated, started off online. So fill the online visa application, pay the immigration health surcharge, and then book at the visa application center that's most convenient for you. Then you'll be asked to upload your document. You can either upload yourself online, there's no additional fee, but if you choose to upload at the visa application center, there is additional fee for that. You can also choose whether you want to opt for standard service or priority service if you don't have enough time for your application. We do offer priority service in Malaysia and Brunei, where you can get a faster decision. There are other additional services as well, which will cost additional fee, like Keep My Passport, which may be useful if you need to travel while we are processing your visa application. After that, you submit your biometrics at the visa application center at the time specified in your appointment booking. Your digital information will then be sent to the UK, to the UK decision-making center, and they will make a decision on this, your application. If successful, there will be a vignette or a sticker that is your visa stuck on your passport, and it will tell you the validity of that visa. If not successful, there won't be a sticker, but you will get a refusal letter in your email telling you the reasons that your visa application got refused. In the unfortunate circumstances that your visa application got refused, don't panic. You can resubmit an application when you are ready, meaning that if you can address all the reasons that is refused, that they have told you in the refusal letter, if you can address all those, you can submit a new application at the earliest time of your convenience. Then VFS will contact you that the passport is ready to be returned. Biometric residence permits. So for those who are coming to UK for longer than 6 months, what you will be getting is initially a 90-day visa on your passport. Then when you arrive in the UK, you will have to collect your BRP within 10 days or before your visa expire. So when you were granted your visa, or when your visa was issued, what you will also receive is what we call the decision letter. In the decision letter, it will contain detail on where you can collect your BRP. So please check the decision letter carefully, and please submit in 10 days of arrival in the UK. So on the slide is more info on BRP. And if you have not received your decision letter, you can email to the email at the bottom there to inform them to send you a decision letter. It's also worth mentioning that we are transitioning in the UK to an e-visa. And BRP is one that is transitioning first, meaning that in the future, there may be no need for a biometric residence permit, but you'll be eligible to prove your immigration status online. So please, I encourage you to sign up for update on e-visa, because all BRP will be scheduled to expire by the end of this year, and you will be provided with instruction of how to transition from a physical BRP to e-visa. So look out for any update on that website, and by signing up, they'll send you an email once there's an update on e-visa. So Visa Application Center, that is the link to it. Our commercial partner is VFS in this region. So that is their website. So if you have any question or look for more information, please do visit the website. The processing time. So the processing time is 3 weeks or 15 working days for a student visa. If you do not have enough time, we do offer priority service, and it's 5 working days. There is additional charge to a priority service. So please don't wait until the very last minute to apply for your visa. We don't want you to pay additional fees. So if you have the time to apply early, please do so. There are certain circumstances when your application may take longer. These are where it would take longer than 3 weeks in standard service or longer than 5 days in priority service. And that may be because that the information you provide is inaccurate, or the decision maker feels that they need to do additional checks based on the information that they have. Processing time. So if you apply from outside the UK, as I mentioned, it's 15 working days. You can contact UKVI, but I don't encourage you to contact UKVI if it is within the service standard or within the 15 working day, because the most likely answer you'll get is that it is currently being processed. But if your application is taking longer than our service standard, please contact UKVI to find out more. For application tips, once your CAS has been issued, apply for your visa as soon as possible to avoid any busy period or delays. So it is most important to apply as early as possible. If you need to do a TB test, please do it early before you receive your CAS. Please have your CAS the very last document that you'll need for your application. So once it's issued to you, you can launch your application. Once you have received your CAS, please check that it has the correct information or the correct person, the correct visa route. Third is include all necessary supporting documents. Please don't forget to include things like TB certificate or supporting document that is necessary. If the document is not in English or Welsh, please include an official translation by a professional translator in which UKVI can verify. Include a supporting letter to explain any gaps in your study. So if your personal circumstance is not straightforward and you feel that there is a need to explain to the decision maker of the reason, then you are eligible to have a cover letter to explain those circumstances. Disclose your full travel history, include any visa refusal. So please disclose as accurately as possible. I'm conscious that we ask for 10-year travel history. So please disclose as much as you can and as accurately as possible, especially if you have been refused visa or refused entry to any country. So the first place I would look at is your previous passport or the current passport for any immigration stamps. Disclose any forms of criminality. If you're unsure, also disclose any minor offense. And if you want to explain more about those circumstances, you can do so in the cover letter as well. If you're under the age of 18, please include your birth certificate and parental consent. And if you can use the Immigration ID Check app, this is for the future. If you can do so, then please don't forget to pay for the application fee. So before you leave to the UK, I think Rosh has covered this initially to a very detailed explanation of what you should do before you leave for the UK. So what I have shared there is the border force guidance for this. So what you'll definitely need is a valid passport and a valid visa. So please visit the website for the minimum requirement. And what you can bring to the UK, those are some of the things that is allowed. And please check what is banned, what is restricted, and you can do so by the link there as well. So traveling to the UK, you can travel to the UK before your course start. If your course is less than 6 months, your visa is normally granted 1 week before. And if your course is longer than 6 months, then you'll most probably get a month before your course start date. Please check on your visa. Don't travel before the validity of your visa. These are some useful links which may help you in your application. And I'd also like to talk about the graduate route. So this route is for those who have graduated from UK university. So if you have graduated from a bachelor degree or a master degree, you are eligible to stay 2 more years in the UK, and for PhD, 3 more years. The good thing about this route, there is no sponsorship requirement, meaning that you don't have to have a job offer from an approved organization that can sponsor you. You can stay in the UK to look for work or to continue living with your family if they live there. Eligibility, so it must be from you must graduate from an education provider, and they have told home office that you have successfully completed the eligible course. You have graduated from an approved institution, and you must apply from the UK before your student visa expire. So if your student visa expire and you have not submitted an application, you cannot pursue the graduate route anymore. And please make sure that you pay the application fee as well as the IHS fee. The application process is straightforward as well. You start by applying online, and by then, in 2 years' time, if you can use the UK Immigration Check app ID, you can prove you may be able to prove your identity by that. If not, you will have to go to the internal in-country application center to provide your biometrics. Then UKVI will check on your application and make a decision. If you're successful, you'll get a digital immigration status or a BRP to prove your right to live or work in the UK. So these are some useful links for the student visa as well as the graduate route. And in the case, like I mentioned, if your application is taking longer than service standard, please contact UKVI, or if you have any inquiry, please do so as well. It will be useful to contact UKVI rather than going to the embassy or the High Commission, because they can take direct action on any inquiries that you may have. We do have a Twitter channel in which I encourage you to follow, because it will tell you the latest change or latest amendment in any immigration rules or guidance. So thank you so much for listening. I am conscious that we have a couple of questions. So Shen Young, do you want me to take the question now, or do we leave it for later?
Yes, you can take the questions now. Thank you.
Let me open this up.
So I'll help you by reading out the questions. The first
Sure,
question is, I have submitted the visa application, but I have not uploaded the current passport. Should I upload it at the VAC when taking the biometrics?
So normally you can upload up until 1 day before your appointment at the visa application center. So I encourage that you upload yourself, given that there's no expense and it's free. But in the case that you do decide to upload it at the visa application center, you can do so as well. There'll be additional fee for that.
So the second question is, I received my CAS number from university, but ATAS application is still in progress. Is there any way I could contact the organization in charge for ATAS?
I will have to look into that and get back to you, because on a UKVI perspective, we are the receiver of the ATAS certificate. So for contacting the organization, let me find out more and get back to you on that question. Thank you for asking that question.
The next question is, for travel history, in which it is from the previous passport, should I scan the entire passport or only the stamped pages?
For travel history, I mean, you can scan the whole passport. I mean, because at VFS, they would help you in scanning the passport as well on your current passport. But if you have, if you want to declare, please at least show us the stamp on the immigration stamp on when you enter or exit a country. So just make sure that it is there, at least the stamp is there.
And the last question for this session is, do sponsored students show the scholarship offer letter from the sponsor as proof or do they have to show funding?
So if sponsor, if you mean by getting a scholarship, then if the scholarship covers the minimum requirement, then that'll be okay. But if it does not, so the minimum requirement includes the course fee for 1 year and 9 month worth of maintenance. So if the scholarship specifically that show that it covers both of those, then you can just use the scholarship letter. But if it does not, if there's gap where perhaps for maintenance requirement or the money you need to spend in the UK, if they only cover £500, then the decision maker would likely look for how the other £900 is going to be covered. So then they will look at your financial evidence. I hope I answered that question.
Yep, that was very well answered. So another question is, for student visa, is the passport still being sent to the UK for processing?
So your passport is actually kept at VFF at the Visa Application Center, but your digital information is sent to the UK for making a decision. So once the decision is made, then there is this process in getting the sticker onto your passport. But your passport is always kept in country in most of the case. That is why you have the Keep My Passport service, where you can hold on to your passport while the application is processing.
Yeah, so I think that's all we have for questions right now. Everybody who's on the call, please feel free to put in more questions in the chat and we will take them on as we go along. Thank you so much, Pat, for giving us the presentation and answering those questions. Now we'll move on to alumni sharing session. So with us today, we have Bryce as well as Lakshmi. Hi, Bryce. Hi, Lakshmi.
Hi, everyone. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can. Pat, can we just request that you stop sharing for a bit?
Hi.
Hi, Lakshmi. I'm unable to see you. I hope others are. Okay, yes, we can. Okay, so Bryce is currently doing his foundation, and Lakshmi has gone to the UK to do her postgrad as well as undergrad, and now is going again to do her professional papers. So we will start with Bryce. Bryce, can you share your experience of being a student, a foundation student, going early on and doing your course? What was it like and your experience?
Yeah, sure. So I did start my foundation year this January with Durham ISC, doing studying law, and it was kind of like a huge culture shock for me when I first landed, because I didn't really have a lot of information available to me, and when I first came into the accommodations, the school, I was very unprepared for it to say the least. So I kind of thought about some stuff that I wish I knew before coming down to the UK that I thought I would share with you guys first. When I came down I think, it was around January. It was it was like the winter period, and it was super cold. Came down with my parents, but we didn't have a lot of we didn't really think ahead of what was available to us and what the accommodations actually gave, what was actually available in accommodations. So when I stayed for the first night, I realized that, oh no, I actually don't have a pillow, I don't have a duvet cover, and the room was frighteningly cold, and I could not take it at all. So, what I would have told myself before, if I could talk to myself, to the pre-UK Bryce, I would have told myself it'd actually be great if I could come down a few days earlier to the start of my course to actually buy all my amenities. And the reason why I say a few days before is that because a lot of stuff I couldn't necessarily buy let's say 1-2 hours before, 1-2 hours after landing in the UK. Again, such as duvet covers, pillows, an electric blanket. possibly towels, all of these slippers, all of these kind of stuff. It does require like at least 1-2 days worth of shopping. Because one thing you also have to consider is that you need time to kind of go around the area to look at the various kind of stores like Morrison's, Lidl, these kind of places that do sell household items. What I would recommend is that when you land, right, is that you actually kind of, make sure that all the facilities in your room are also, up to standard. Because when I first came down here, I realized that my heater wasn't working. My room heater wasn't working, and that there was like one of my taps didn't actually give me hot water. So I had really wished if I like had come down 1-2 days beforehand, 1-2 days earlier, I could have like more time to sort it out with the accommodation team. Things that I would also kind of like consider is that if I'm correctly, it was mentioned that there's also like social support groups, like finding people from like own home country, like Malaysians, you from Brunei, like Singaporeans, for example. Actually, online before you go in, there are a lot of student-led societies or groups that have started their own, let's say, WhatsApp channels, Instagram groups, or like Telegram chats where you can actually meet other people who are other incoming students from like your country and get to know them better before actually stepping foot into the university life. And that kind of social support really did help. For example, when I came in, I did meet up with a few Singaporeans and Malaysians, and they kind of helped me settle in, get acclimatized. They told me what I should be expecting for at least the foundation year, and that really did help me kind of settle down, get in the right mindset. And I would dare say that their advice and their support really did help me in succeeding in the foundation year course, and set me up for success in the first year of Durham, because now I know a lot of them quite a few number of like foundation year alumni, Singaporeans, Malaysians, people who are a little bit closer to home in the university itself. And I guess, well, it's a bit like service level, but I would say that the biggest kind of help that they gave me was that they gave me a lot of their textbooks, which helped me save a lot of money as well. And it comes with a lot of annotations, which, I could use for my assignments and any pre-reading before I actually stepped foot into Durham, which I really do appreciate them for. That whole point about, finding people close to home while you're overseas is also very important, because it definitely helps you to feel less homesick and to feel more comfortable, especially when you're actually bunkering down, you're actually doing work, and you kind of realize that, at least for me, I kind of realized that I really do miss my friends, I really do miss my family. But it's sort of like the family that you make here that kind of, helps you go for the long run, Many of you guys might decide to like stay on to the UK for a long period of time and not go back home to your families in Malaysia or Brunei. And I feel like, having that social support with the friends you make in the UK really does help during those periods of time where, you realize that you're kind of lonely and everything. In terms of, I guess, say like trying to feel more at home while in the UK, food is definitely a big thing for me. I started to learn how to properly cook like Southeast Asian dishes in particular. When I came here, I had absolutely no idea how to cook when I was in Singapore. And coming here, I started cooking a lot of my Southeast Asian friends, and a lot of other people that I would never really have ever thought that I would become close to in terms of like, being a Singaporean, like Koreans, Japanese people, Chinese people, Pakistanis, Middle Easterners, and started to cook a lot more often. And, it did help me to, again, feel a little bit closer to home, make a lot of friends, and as well as definitely save a lot on living expenses. So, I mean, at the end of the day, for me, I wish I had like come down a few days earlier, maybe like 4 or 5 days earlier before the start of my course, to get all of my household items settled, to make sure that my living accommodations are all, up to working order, get a good feel of the area, make a few friends beforehand. And I think that's the most solid advice I can give to someone who is coming down to the UK for the first time.
Thank you, Bryce. Thank you very much for your sharing your experience. Do we have any question from the audience? I mean, if you would like to understand more about any part of what Bryce has shared so far, please put them on the chat section, and then we can perhaps ask Bryce to kind of share more onto the areas that you would like to find out. Yeah. Again, thanks, Bryce. Perhaps next we can invite Lakshmi to kind of do a bit of sharing of her experience.
Hi, good afternoon. Sorry, let me just see if I can try and share my slides. So with that, my screen, 1 second. Oh, okay, I can. Yeah, sorry, where's my presentation? Okay, hi, I hope this is visible, sorry, English. Yes?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
it's
okay.
visible. Yeah.
Yay, thank you. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Hi, my name is Lakshmi Devi. You can actually call me Lux, that's fine. So I am actually a law lecturer. So in true fashion of being a lecturer, I decided to do slides because we like to be meticulous like that. But yeah, so I actually teach law in MMU in Malaysia here. So my LLB, my masters in law, they were from the UK, specifically University of Liverpool. And now I'm going to go and do my professional legal papers at Northumbria University, which is now in Newcastle. So just to cover a few things that I think personally is important for you to know as somebody who's, whether you're going there for the first time or you want a recap and a refresher of what are the things that you need checklist wise. We will just go through emergency services because I think for parents as well, that's quite important, and for yourself to know what to do. How to manage your personal finances. So we're talking about groceries, where to buy them, where to get them, what's cheap, what's and what's not, and so forth. And of course, some trip or packing essentials in terms of what you want to bring from here to the UK. So just to give you a start, we look at emergency services basically. So when it comes to emergency services, I think Rosh has covered quite a few important bits. So of course, your starting point will always be your university, since you don't technically have family there. So anyone from the university departments, whether it's student welfare and admissions or just international students, they might have separate departments as well. Try to ask them on the first day or when you have your inductions, get to know where these places are within your university campus bounds. And most importantly, they should be able to tell you during your induction, but if they do not, then please go and actually ask and inquire where the nearest GP, which is general practitioner clinic, is, because you have to actually go and register yourself in order for you to activate your insurance. So subsequently, when you, let's say, have to go to the emergency department in a hospital or any other clinic, your insurance, the one that you pay when you actually pay for your visa, will also obviously be activated in terms of usage as well. So please go and actually register with the local GP first, and then from then on it should be okay. And then ask for any emergency contacts and so forth. Sometimes they have people who manage just international students or just your faculty's international students. Some universities may also have academic advisors, and you may want to have their email on hand in a sort of contact book that you have, either it's on your phone or a book that you've actually written, because these are the people that you want to contact should anything take place. So this is as far as emergency services is concerned. So let's just look look at some personal finance and budgeting, which is like one of the most important things, because everyone will always ask, how do you save money, especially with the current exchange rate and current financial climate. So I think what Rosh said is really important. We obviously encourage as much as possible for you to cook your own meals rather than going out to eat, because just like how in Malaysia you will spend money, there it will be 6 times the amount that you will end up spending. But one thing I will tell you before getting into this whole budgeting thing is that please do not continuously convert your money, because if you're going to convert, trust me, you're never going to live in the UK, because every time you pick up just one onion itself, you're like, and then you just suffer and you'll just never eat, and then most probably you'll become, I don't know, Tyra Banks, America's Next Top Model, and you'll be that skinny or whatever. Please do not keep converting. Do enjoy your life there. You can trust the budget provided to you by your visas. If you go to the visa website, they give you a budget for within London and outside London for cost of living, and it includes your rental, and the rest of it goes towards your actual eating, your travel, your entertainment, and so forth. So you can trust the budget, because in all the time that I've been in the UK, which is about 3 years, I've stuck to the budget and I don't usually overspend. But of course, this also depends, again, it goes back to personal financing. Like if you are a person who is going to buy more from the outside, then you are going to spend more than the budget that is actually estimated as well. So it's more like a balancing act. Try to keep your out meals when you go out with a group of friends, maybe for a birthday. Be careful and conscious of what you order, because obviously food portions there are bigger, and as Asians we may not eat as much as well, so that also comes into play. So don't over order when you go outside. When you're cooking your meals and so forth, so if you notice, I've actually put some labels here as well. So Aldi and Lidl, they are the cheapest grocers over there, rather than going through Tesco's or Sainsbury's, and the list will get more and more expensive. Sometimes my friends, they prefer buying, if you're a very heavy meat eater, they prefer meats bought from Marks and Spencer's. They find that it's nicer compared to your Aldi or Lidl. But again, that depends on you and your budgeting. So try to also plan it such that if you're going to buy the one packet of drumettes or chicken breast or whatever, you plan your meals as well, so that you use it up in time and food doesn't go to waste. So if you see, I've also put Poundland over there. So just like how we have our eco shops over here, Poundland, everything is for £1. Some of it may be slightly smaller size, and hence why it's £1. So sort of do your estimation on how much it is you're going to eat and what you actually like. And sometimes when we go there, because we see all these cool different foods and we want to try everything, just be a little bit careful, because if anything doesn't end up going according to your taste, then that also becomes a waste. So maybe there's certain things you want to buy together with your friends, try it, and if you all end up liking it, then you can go back and repurchase the item. So I would say plan your outings very well, cook your own meals, and look for student discount apps. So there's this app called UniDays, and I think there are a few more other apps now that I'm also going there. So go and actually ask your university student councils, or just the students there when you go to induction, what are the apps that they use to keep track of what days there's student discount, or on what items there's student discounts. And there, all the restaurants, I think excluding fast food, usually has a student discount attached to it. So you can always ask them, and there's no harm in asking them, because the worst thing they can say is, no, we don't do student discounts. So if you don't ask, you won't get. So every time you go to a restaurant, you tell them you're a student, and as long as you have your student ID present to have proof of it, you can actually get you can be eligible for 10% or less, depending on the restaurants and where you're actually eating. And of course, shop locally as much as possible. Please don't keep going to the Asian grocery store. Only go to the Asian grocery store when you need a particular Asian ingredient, because you are, just like how we get stuff imported and you would pay more when you go to Jaya Grocer and buy something that's from, the UK or Australia, you would also pay more when you get something from here, because now this country becomes the imported or the outside food when you go to the UK. So that's something that you should actually keep in mind. So what are the travel tips or essentials and so forth? I would say don't pack too many clothes from Malaysia, because the sense of style in the UK is very different. It is a cold country, so weather-wise, the sense of style is different. And of course, culturally, the sense of style is different. I would suggest packing essential clothes, house clothes, because you may be more comfortable with the t-shirts that you have here that you like to wear, baggy ones, but you can get there as well. and go and actually shop there. Whether it's their Primark, the H&M, whatever season that's going on there for winter, shop the clothes that are there so that you don't stick out like a sore thumb and you can actually assimilate within the culture that you're in now because you're now there and you want to make friends with the people there. Food items as well, take the ones that are absolutely necessary, things that you cannot get there. In the Asian grocers, you can get a lot of curry powder. You can get many things, in fact, from Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, etc. The one thing I would say that you will definitely miss is a Maggi packet because Maggi there is very, very light, very watery. It may be too watered down for our taste buds because we like to cow everything. So Maggi is good. And I would suggest use your Maggi sparingly. Use it when you really miss home, when you're very stressed with your exams, because that is when you will look for comfort of home and food. I would also say Milo, it's really not nice in the UK because in the UK, they have a lot of regulations about the amount of sugar that goes inside. And because we love sugar, please buy the Milo that's actually from here, especially for those people who cannot live without their Milo, because the Milo here has slightly more sugar. They do have Singapore Milo, but you may not, again, you may prefer the Malaysian Milo. So that is something I would say that it is worth getting from here and going. I would say keep a folder with all your important documents, your visa documents. You may have your laptop warranties. And yes, you should have your warranty with you because if anything were to happen when you're there, then you would actually want the warranty to be international. You may want to access it, etc. And then make sure you have a copy of this document. So you can keep one in your handbag or in your hand luggage, and you can keep one in your main luggage. So if at all anything goes missing from your hand luggage, at least your main luggage has the originals or the copy, etc. So have more than one copy. I would also suggest if you have more than one copy, maybe have even two, because sometimes when you go to the immigration, they may even just take the paper from you and just keep it for their own record keeping purposes, whether it's your CAS and so forth. So have the original and have a 2 or 3 copies inside a pocket folder as well. And then I would say other things are things like minyak kappa, your home remedies. So if you have like Chinese herbs that you drink every day or every once a month or whatever, it's good to actually bring it from Malaysia. Any other remedies and stuff. I've put down barley, but honestly, barley also you can get there now in the Asian stores. But you may have a particular way of mixing curry powder that you may want to take, but please don't go and take like one whole jar like that. Just take enough so that when you do feel like you need to put it in for that special curry, you can put it in. If not, just use the curry powder that's there. You will save a lot of money in terms of paying here for weight as well. And then if you have I would recommend bringing one traditional outfit, or if you're a person who wears, you can bring more, because when you're with your Malaysian society or any other event, there may be days where you want to wear something cultural or you need to wear something cultural. So I suggest bringing that. So for example, for me, I always have saris that I take and go, or I'll take one kurti top and so forth, or a baju kurung. So I suggest the same for you. And then of course for ladies, please bring your sanitary pad, because until you figure out what pad you want over there, it's good to have a stash with you when you're going. But that's about it. So these are my essentials. This was my life in the UK. I had so much of fun. As you can tell, for my graduation, I wore sari. For my law board, I wore sari. So like I said, the cultural outfit is something you may really want to consider bringing. But this is totally dependable on you and your comfort as well. So I hope everyone's okay. And if there's any questions, just let me know. I think I'll stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you, Bryce. Thank you, Tim. And thank you, Pat, for being on this call and giving students all the information they need. Students, if you have any more questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box. We'll give you a couple of seconds and then we'll take questions.
Hi, so do I just...
Yeah, there is a question for you on how to travel.
Okay, so it depends on you actually. So I'm actually going to go to Newcastle for the first time. From what I remember last time, it's usually by train. Now, when it comes to trains, I will tell you this tip or trick. There are two things that you can do with a train. You can either take a train with multiple stops, or you can take a direct train to the particular place. So when you have places like Liverpool, Manchester, Newcastle, they're very big cities. So you can take from one big city to another direct. So when there's no stops, you take off about half an hour or 40 minutes from your trip. So from KL, I am actually, because I'm stopping at London, so I'm still taking my flight to Heathrow and then taking a train to Newcastle because I'm visiting a few friends first in London. But if I'm not mistaken, you can actually take even an internal flight, but trains are much more scenic and cheaper if you take the train, actually. The only thing is, like what Rosh said, you may be, juggling around 240-kilo bags plus your hand luggage on the train, and that's something to keep in mind. But usually if you take like these direct trains and so forth, when you're going from one city to another, you only have to worry about getting it onto the train on the go, and then once you actually reach your destination. Yeah, I hope that actually answers your question.
Yeah, okay. So hold on, there's a few questions. Hi Jody, for your question, we will ask Bryce to personally email you if that's okay, Bryce. There's a very detailed question, so if it's okay, please do take that.
Actually, sorry, I wanted to add to what Lakshmi said
Yeah.
about the travel within the UK, right? Actually, a lot of you guys, when you first come in, there's also like the Rail card that you can buy. I think that's very important, especially if you plan to travel a lot within the UK, because that actually saves a lot of money. For me, I'm currently like near Newcastle itself, and just buying the Rail card, it's about like 25-30 pounds a year. And it's like, I think it's like 30% off any train tickets you buy from there on. So just paying the 30 pounds actually covers like, well, that basically covers like one trip for me from Newcastle to London itself. And yeah, I've saved like at least hundreds of pounds just from travel itself because of the rail card, right? And so when you guys come down, especially if like you're traveling to like a university that's maybe further than the airport, maybe the first thing you can consider is actually getting the rail card as well. Yeah.
Okay, so if you have any other questions and we haven't answered it, you can also find Lakshmi and Bryce on LinkedIn maybe, and reach out to them for answers to your questions. So feel free to do that as well. If we have no other questions, I would like to share my screen and ask everybody to scan this QR code.
I think you have one more. Sorry, Rosh. Somebody asked, at which point I get a new SIM card for a phone? Should I bring my personal laptop there? Okay, you can get a new SIM card as soon as you land as well if you want to. Just be sure to tell them that it's not for tourist purposes, and usually you have to register online, and it should be fine paying monthly. I am not too sure what you mean when you say personal laptop. Does that mean that you have a separate study laptop? Because then yes, you should bring both if you're going to use both, because that depends on your usage when you say personal. But yeah, I don't know if Bryce has anything to add on the SIM card situation.
Yeah, the SIM card situation. At least for me in the ISC, they did give us SIM cards, and if I recall, at least in Singapore, when I went down to get my BRP, they actually gave me a free SIM card to use, the temporary SIM card to use in the UK. When I joined the accommodation in the school, they also gave me like a separate SIM card for long-term use, because again, they really need you to have a local number on the get-go, especially for like safety purposes. So I would recommend just checking with your school if they're going to give you a long-term SIM card, because that's what they did for me. I don't think you necessarily need to go down and like go to like O2 or giffgaff, which is like one of the mobile service providers, and signing up with them if you can do it through the school itself. For the personal laptop, yes, please bring your own personal laptop. There are a few students here who did not bring their personal laptops, and they really struggled in the first term. It was really rough for them. And I think that, especially looking at MacBooks and anything here, like computers, it is a little bit more pricey. At least for me, I personally feel it's a little bit more pricey in the UK. So definitely helps if you already have a laptop in your home countries at home and just bring it here. After all, you're definitely going to be more comfortable using your own laptop than a new one, you know.
Thanks, Bryce. Thanks, Lakshmi. To everybody on this call, please do scan the QR code and provide us with your feedback. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us. We hope all your doubts and questions are answered. And if you have any questions, please do let us know. We will also be emailing you with all the slides from today's session. And you can watch the British Council Malaysia YouTube page for the recording that will be uploaded. So thank you so much for being at today's session, and we hope to see you in future sessions. Thank you so much.